Hi everyone, Deception here. I wanted to give a quick FPS boost, quick FPS fix, whichever you want to call it, for Bluestacks, and more importantly, for Blade and Soul Revolution. I've been having a lot of fun with the game, and this is what helped me fix my issue. So when you install Bluestacks, I still have Bluestacks 4, even though Bluestacks 5 beta is out. I didn't really like it. I think I'm waiting for some more updates for Bluestacks 5. So this is going to be on Bluestacks 4. So when you install Bluestacks, you're going to have two apps. You'll have the regular app to just launch it, and then you have the Bluestacks multi-instant manager. I want you to run the manager. That way you can make sure you're running the 64-bit version of Bluestacks. So disregard all of this. I'm going to go to a new instance, fresh instance, and then I'm going to make sure it's NuGet 64-bit. I'm probably saying that wrong. Yeah, probably saying that wrong, whatever. And just click next, and then it's going to allow you to select your cores and your RAM and everything that you need to know. And this is really, really important, right? It's an emulating device. We have a CPU. We want it to be able to use all of what we have going on for our CPU, right? So we don't want to do high. We want it to do custom, because if you have more than 4 cores, this is probably important. I have 8 cores. So I'm going to click this. And then on RAM, same thing. We don't want it to do high. We want it to do custom, because you might have more than 4 gigs of RAM. But here's the problem. You'll see when I take out whatever input was default, it says I can go from 600 to 4096, which is like 4 gigs of RAM, right? We're going to go 4096, and then we're going to keep it at 1600 by 900. I think it's pointless to run 1920 by 1080. It looks no different, and if anything, it causes more FPS issues. And then another important thing is to have ARM64. ARM64, very important. But this should already be enabled, and if it's not, just go to your existing Bluestacks and enable that in the engine settings, which I'm going to follow through. So we're going to add that. DPI doesn't matter. We're going to add that and start it up. So we're running the 64-bit. Very important to run a 64-bit. If you have a 64-bit processing system, there's no reason to ever use 32-bit software, ever. So while that boots up, anytime, don't worry. This is going to be a brand new instance, so it's going to tell me to sign in and stuff, but I'll do that later. This is what helped me fix my FPS issues. I went to the settings. I went to engine. Well, before we get to engine, the device, 1+5, that's the device I use. So if you think, if there's something, some setting that you can't follow along, make sure you are on the same device. Everything else is default. Preferences are default. Display is default as well. But I do recommend 16 by 9, 1600 by 900 resolution. Go to engine. You want custom. You want your cores to max out, which is 8 core for me. And then you'll notice that it refreshed too high, 4 gigs, because we could only use 4096 megabytes of RAM, right? I think. Go custom. And then you'll notice, boom, I can actually use all of it now, because it's the 64-bit processing, and I have a 32 gigs of RAM, I think. But anyways, boost that all the way up, because if you're emulating something on your computer, you want to use your whole computer. That way, you don't have that many issues. So performance mode, good. OpenGL, very important. You want to prefer your dedicated computer's graphics, which is Nvidia stuff. If you don't have an Nvidia graphics, I don't know if you can use this because it says Nvidia only, but more often than not, you probably will have one. So yeah, click that. ASTC, this is another very important thing. We want hardware decoding. We don't want it disabled. We don't want software decoding. We want hardware decoding. Very important. And then the frame rate. Boost that all the way up, as high as your FPS will go. Mine will go up to 240. And that is enabling high frame rates. Don't want VSync, although you might think VSync is good because you're having lagging issues and it's an MMO, so you might not need to necessarily have VSync off. But remember, VSync caps you. So if I were to enable that, it would take me back down to 60. So I enable high frame rates. I crank that thing all the way up. And then right here on the ABI settings, like I had mentioned earlier, if you didn't have that feature, this is where you would go to click ARM64, which is the better setting. And then you save that, restart it, and there you go. I saved up a lot of FPS. I had a lot of lag issues running the game. I still don't think BnSR, I guess. Yeah, I don't think it's really optimized for an emulator yet. It's still fairly new, but I'm having a lot of fun in it, and hopefully I can help somebody that had the same issue that I did, and somebody else in my chat had the same issue. So I went ahead and told him, and it seemed like he had his issues fixed from this video as well. So thanks for watching, and until the next one. All right, peace.